This caught my eye the other day. It's called Nobel Legacy, as you can see from the title. Here's the TLDR for busy people. It's about berry picking with your mate, chopping wood, usually by yourself, sawing wood, again with your mate, tarting up the place, building buildings, big and small, a bit of sword play, spending some time doing some home decor. It also gets a little risque.
Calm yourself.
Yes, my lord. Thank you, my lord.
And a little bit of resource and town management. Did I mention it's in early access? If you want to stick around, I'll tell you more. Well, this is Nobel Legacy, and I am Lord Bara. In complete transparency, I saw this just the other day, and I reached out to the developer on Discord, Studio 369. They've been exceedingly kind and given me a free key, under no duress and no obligation, so I can say what I like. And I have a little bit to say, but let me start with the good. It's on PC and is available now on Steam. I don't recommend anybody to rush out and buy this right now, unless you're one of those individuals who enjoys the long haul of early access development games. Or, of course, if you like what I'm about to show you, then you can obviously support them by purchasing it at this point. And at this point, there's a lot to like. What's available right now is a tutorial mode, which I've played through a couple of times, and a sandbox mode. It seems like most of the core mechanics are in and working, if a little bit cumbersome. So you can play this right now and have a somewhat decent experience. Now, this is a third-person action town planning role-playing game. Now, that crosses a lot of different genres, all of which I'm a fan of, and there are a lot of other games out there that are similar and fulfill those genres. It lives in the same kind of space as Medieval Dynasty, Bellwright, and if you're familiar with those titles, then you'll be familiar with this concept. So let's have a little look and see what Nobel Legacy has to offer. When you start a new game, you are confronted with this regional map, and there are several settlements on it ranging in size from small to large. But as of the early access, we only have access to this very first one, small one, and it's called Greenwood Farm, and it's basically the place where you're going to learn the ropes. So this looks to be a campaign of a linear story, of which you play, uniquely, a lord. And this is what's caught my eye about this game in particular compared to other games of the similar kind in this genre. You're not playing as a peasant or an unknown hero, you're playing from the start as a lord. You have a history and there's an intrigue and a world already created for you. And that is borne out in the way that you interact with NPCs in the world. Not only are they citizens in the towns that you're creating, they also have kind of their own unique personalities and stories themselves, much like this gentleman here. He has an unusual ask, and you could satisfy it, or I suppose you could choose not to, and you will have to live with the consequences of that, which I think will add a really nice twist to the towns that you manage. And there's a decent amount to manage within the towns as well. As you can see here, we have a town status, and there's an economy, so we can buy and sell things. And things start out basic, but as you build and manage your villagers and recruit new people, you inevitably get to the research stage. Most of this at the moment is still very much under development. This one here has caught my eye. But I can see the complexity of the economy really start to open up as you start to unlock all of this. Each building in your settlement also has its own overview, and they also have their own unique requirements and pathways to upgrade. You'll have to assign who works where, who lives where, and you'll have to keep an eye on how productive each building is and also what the building individually requires for it to function. So there's a lot going on, and it seems that the developer is releasing patches at a regular cadence, which is nice to see. On that journey to becoming a lord of a large town, you're going to be doing a lot of this manual work yourself until you get things up and running. And because you're never truly separated from the work that needs to be done, you always feel like you're kind of achieving something. One thing that I would have a criticism with is this build menu, however, because I'm not a fan of radial menus. And this one is a mixture between radial and also like a larger block menu as well. And this hybrid design feels like a placeholder. I hope it is. There's a lot of going back, forth and opening and closing it again, especially when you make a wrong click and then you have to go all the way through the menus again. I'm sure that'll get sorted out in the long run, but it works for the most part. Let's take a look at how the building system works. It's become pretty popular nowadays, hasn't it? This prefabricated snapping kind of system. And when it works, it really works. I am thinking of something like No Man's Sky. I don't know if anybody's played that, or perhaps Valheim. Those are two games that have excellent snapping build mechanics. You can do extremely detailed building work in those two titles. And this system here is reminiscent of those, although it's not quite hitting the mark just yet. Usability, I found it about 85%. There's clearly been a lot of work, time and effort and attention to detail poured into the individual assets, and I'm really, really pleased to see that. But the actual mechanic itself for the snapping and the building needs a little bit of work. Now there is another really interesting aspect to this whole building and town management system, which is this bird's eye view that you can go into. Now you can see resource icons, and all of the buildings that you've built have labels associated with them. But at the moment, none of them are interactable. I don't know whether that is planned or not, but I would love to see this turn into a fully interactive part of the game. At the moment, it's just a really cool out-of-body experience where you fly around and look at the stuff that you've built. But if these icons for the buildings became clickable and they pop open a menu where you can interact with, that would be a game changer. I feel, this is just my personal feeling, that that's where it might be headed, but I don't know for sure. Truth is, what you'll find yourself doing at present is gathering, building bits and pieces, other types of gathering. There's farming, there's a little bit of hunting, which kind of works, and fishing, as you can see. And once you have your buildings built, you can assign your villagers to do that automatically for you, and they will replenish your market so that you can add that to your market store and buy or sell them. Now, there is one other aspect to the game, and that is combat. So, you can fight, you have a sword, and your villagers can fight. Most of them already have swords, and if they don't have one, you can give one to them. You're also able to build defensive structures so that you can wall off your town, and I don't know how detailed it will be in the future to allow you to create garrisons and have them protect your town. But I'm not going to gloss over the fact that right now, as of today, the combat doesn't feel good to me. I have no idea what I could possibly equate this to, but there's basically a dodge and an attack. I don't know what I'm dodging and I have no idea whether or not my attacks are landing, so I can't really say a lot about this. I do like the fact that the villagers join in your fight as well, and I found that my tactic ended up being getting the aggressor to kind of be in the middle of a group of them, and then they could all kind of take him down. Obviously, when you are victorious, you also get to loot them, which is only right. But in summary, there's a lot going on. There's building mechanics, there's farming mechanics, there's town management and economy to think about. There's also an RPG element to it. Many of the characters are also voiced. And there's a combat element to it, which feels like it might be leaning towards tower defense, although I can't say for sure. Plus, there's a pretty robust character creator at the beginning of the game when you're creating your own lord. So I would say that there's a lot to like here, and definitely a lot of potential for growth in the future. If you were interested in finding out more and interacting with the community that are already playing this, you can pop over to the Discord at Nobel Legacy Game, and they're active on a daily basis. I'm not saying rush out and buy it, but I am saying that this is one that potentially I'm going to keep an eye on. Well, that's all I've got time for. I hope you enjoyed this little break from the norm. If you did enjoy this, let me know in the comments. Or if you are currently playing this, why don't you let other people know what you think about the game in the comments as well, so you can share your own views on it as well. But as always, I'll just say, if you have been, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This has been Nobel Legacy, and I have been Lord Bara.